Transforming neglect into personal growth. Neglect doesn't always scream at you. It doesn't announce itself like failure or rejection. It sneaks in slowly, often disguised as apathy or complacency. It's the failure to take consistent action. It's the procrastination that eats away at your potential. And it's the moments when you allow the distractions of life to pull you away from your true purpose. The problem with neglect is that it compounds. What you ignore today will come back to haunt you tomorrow, next year, or even decades down the line. Neglect in any area of your life, whether it's your health, or your education, or your relationships, builds a wall that grows taller each day. Over time, this wall separates you from your goals, dreams, and the life you were meant to live. The key to transforming neglect into personal growth starts with awareness. You need to recognize when neglect is creeping in and take proactive steps to correct it. The power to change begins with you. You must take responsibility for your actions, or lack thereof. Until you confront neglect, you won't be able to turn it into an opportunity for growth. The first step is understanding that neglect is often the byproduct of inaction, and that inaction can be reversed with deliberate, focused effort. Recognizing the power of personal accountability. No one can fix your life but you. This truth is non-negotiable. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to blame others for our circumstances. We blame our teachers, our families, our bosses, and even the system. But the truth is, the only person who can change your life is you. You have to own your actions, your choices, and your decisions. This is where personal accountability becomes the most powerful tool in your arsenal. When you accept full responsibility for where you are in life, you shift from being a victim of circumstances to being the architect of your future. Accountability forces you to look in the mirror and face your truth. You can't blame neglect on anyone else. If you've been neglecting your goals, your growth, and your dreams, it's on you. The sooner you acknowledge this, the sooner you can take action. Personal accountability requires discipline, but it also offers freedom. It frees you from the shackles of excuses and puts the control of your destiny squarely in your hands. The moment you say, I am responsible for my life, that's when the shift begins. The transformation from neglect to growth starts with accepting that the power is within you to make things right. Reprogramming your mindset for growth. To transform neglect into growth, you must first change your mindset. Everything starts with how you think. If you continue to see yourself as someone who cannot change or as someone destined to fail, you will never break free from the grip of neglect. You need to reprogram your mind to embrace growth, even in the face of adversity. Growth starts with the belief that you can become better, do better, and achieve better. If you've neglected your potential in the past, it's time to start telling yourself a new story. Stop saying, I can't, or I'm not good enough. And start saying, I am capable of growth, and I am capable of transformation. This shift in mindset is the foundation for personal growth. It's about replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, see them as opportunities to develop your character and skills. Reprogramming your mind means focusing on progress, not perfection. It means recognizing that every small step forward is a victory and that each failure is a lesson, not a roadblock. And so if you want to turn neglect into growth, you must first believe in the possibility of change. And that belief starts in your mind. The importance of self-discipline in overcoming neglect. Self-discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Without it, nothing happens. No goals are achieved, no progress is made, and neglect takes over. Discipline is about doing what you need to do even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about making the right choices even when it's hard. And sticking to your commitments even when it seems easier to quit. The importance of self-discipline cannot be overstated. You can have all the knowledge, all the motivation, and all the potential in the world, but without discipline, it isn't very sensible. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you'd rather sleep in. It's what pushes you to study when you'd rather watch TV. It's what helps you eat right, exercise, and stay focused on your goals, even when the world around you is full of distractions. Neglect thrives in the absence of discipline. If you allow yourself to slip into habits of neglect, skipping workouts, procrastinating on your work, avoiding difficult conversations, then you are fostering an environment where growth cannot flourish. Discipline is the tool that keeps you on track. When you cultivate self-discipline, you are actively transforming neglect. Discipline is the daily practice of showing up for yourself even when no one else is watching. And over time, it will pay off in ways you can't even imagine. Turning neglect into fuel for motivation. Neglect can be painful, but it can also be a powerful motivator if you choose to see it that way. When you feel the sting of neglect, whether it's from missed opportunities, unachieved goals, or wasted time, use it as fuel to drive you forward. You can let neglect defeat you, or you can use it as a spark to ignite your passion and determination. One of the best ways to combat neglect is by using the energy it creates as motivation. If you feel like you've neglected your health, use that feeling as a catalyst to start exercising and eating right. If you've neglected your studies, let the regret of missed learning propel you to dive back into your education with renewed focus and intensity. This is the essence of growth, turning negative feelings into a positive force. Neglect can fuel your ambition if you let it. It can remind you of what you truly want and what's at stake if you don't take action. The key is to not let neglect defeat you. Don't wallow in regret. Instead, transform that regret into a burning desire to do better, to be better, and to achieve better. Building resilience, the key to long-term success. Neglect often happens when life gets tough and we feel overwhelmed. But let me tell you something. It's not the challenges that break us. It's how we respond to those challenges. Building resilience is one of the most important ways to combat neglect. Life will throw setbacks, disappointments, and failures your way. But resilience is what allows you to bounce back stronger than before. Resilience is the ability to keep going even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It's the grit to push through difficult times, to learn from your mistakes, and to stay focused on the bigger picture. When you build resilience, you are creating a mindset that refuses to be defeated. You stop letting setbacks define you, and instead, you use them as stepping stones to greater success. The stronger your resilience, the less likely you are to neglect your dreams. You have the tenacity to push through the tough times and keep moving forward. And when you transform neglect into resilience, you'll begin to see obstacles as temporary challenges rather than insurmountable roadblocks. Building resilience means refusing to let neglect define you. It means using every challenge as an opportunity for growth. The role of support systems in overcoming neglect. No one achieves greatness alone. Success is a team sport, and having the right support system in place is critical when you're trying to overcome neglect. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, who challenge you, and who believe in your potential, even when you don't. A strong support system keeps you accountable. They remind you of your goals when you forget, push you when you get complacent, and offer a shoulder to lean on when you face difficulties. But support does not just come from friends or family. It can come from mentors, coaches, and even peers who are on a similar journey. Building a network of supportive, like-minded individuals ensures you're never truly alone in your quest for personal growth. Neglect is easier to fall into when you're isolated, but when you're surrounded by people who uplift you, you're less likely to neglect your responsibilities. And so they remind you of your vision and help you stay on track when the going gets tough. Harnessing pain and failure as learning opportunities. Neglect often comes with its own set of consequences. Missed opportunities, failure, and the pain of regret. But guess what? Those experiences are the best teachers you can have. Instead of letting failure or pain stop you in your tracks, use them as powerful lessons. Every setback, every failure, and every moment of pain carries within it a lesson that can propel you forward. When you fail, you don't just learn what doesn't work, you learn more about yourself. You learn your limits, your strengths, and your areas for improvement. You learn how to be more resourceful, how to problem solve, and how to be more resilient. The best way to transform neglect into growth is to embrace failure as an opportunity to learn rather than as a reason to give up. When you reframe failure as a stepping stone to success, you begin to see every setback as part of the journey. Every failure is a lesson. It's a moment to adapt and grow. Taking action. From awareness to change. Awareness without action is just a dream. You can recognize your neglect. You can understand its consequences, and you can even know the steps you need to take to improve. But none of that matters if you don't take action. Purposeful action is the key to overcoming neglect. Awareness without action leads to stagnation, but awareness coupled with action creates transformation. It's about showing up every day, no matter how difficult it may seem. It's about making the commitment to do better and following through even when motivation is low. Action is what makes the difference between knowledge and results. When you take action, you break the cycle of neglect. You prove to yourself that you are capable of change and that you are willing to do whatever it takes to grow. Sustaining growth, committing to continuous improvement. The journey of transforming neglect into personal growth is ongoing. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires consistency, patience, and a commitment to continual improvement. Once you overcome neglect, the key to long-term success is staying committed to your growth. This means constantly challenging yourself, seeking new opportunities for learning. It's about making growth a lifestyle, not a one-time event. This requires dedication, discipline, and the willingness to adapt as you evolve. Don't just settle for progress, strive for excellence. By committing to continuous improvement, you ensure that you're always moving forward, always growing, and always transforming. Sustaining growth is about never getting complacent. Listen to me, your past does not define your future. Neglect is not the full stop in your story. It's the fire that forges your strength. The pain you felt, the rejection you've endured, and the doubts you've battled, they weren't put there to break you. They were placed there to prepare you. Every setback you faced, every moment you thought you weren't enough was a stepping stone to this very moment. You have a choice today. Will you stay stuck in the pain of what you didn't have, or will you rise and build something greater? Will you let neglect be the reason you stop or the reason you soar? The people who doubted you, who overlooked you, they don't get to write the ending of your story. You do. Transforming neglect into personal growth isn't easy. It's a fight. It's about forgiving when you don't feel like it, showing up when you're tired, and believing in your worth even when no one else does. It's about committing to the process and owning your story. So I challenge you, don't waste your pain, use it, let it fuel you, push you, and drive you to become the person you were born to be. Because when you take that pain, when you transform it into purpose, there's no limit to what you can achieve. The world doesn't need another victim of neglect. It needs another victor, another overcomer, another story of triumph. That can be you. Now go out there and own your journey. Transform that pain into power, that rejection into resilience, and that neglect into unstoppable personal growth. Your story isn't over, it's just getting started. If this message inspires you, if it sparks something inside of you, then don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, because every like helps spread this message to someone who needs it. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another empowering video like this. And don't forget to share this with someone who's facing challenges right now. They might need these words to turn their pain into purpose. Remember, growth is a journey, and we're in this together. Let's build, let's grow, and let's win. Stay motivated and stay focused, and I'll see you in the next video.